Real nice brown stew pork with beans. Of course, all the Hey guys, welcome back to Cliffy's Kitchen. Always a pleasure working with you. I want you to stay with me today as we prepare a very nice dish for you. What is it? Well, guess what? A friend of mine recently said to me, Cliffy, you have done almost everything else besides stew pork. And you know something? I enjoy your stew pork more than everybody else. Is it that you don't want nobody else to do it as good as you? I said, no man, I want everybody else to do it even better than me. So I promised him and all of my customers that the next video was going to be stew pork. So follow me as I show you from scratch how I prepare. Right here, washing it off in my sink is where we go right now. So here is it, friends. I have in this bowl here 3 pounds of pork. And of course I have to tell you, I always buy the whole pork shoulders and have them cut it up in this size, right? I have this cut up right from the meat shop, so that I just come and it's going to do my washing off now. So I don't have a cutter at home, so you can ask for that service when you buy your meat too. First, I'm gonna pour in some vinegar. Just enough, not no specific amount. And then I'm gonna go in with some lime, some lemon. You know, this is for nice washing, and it cleanses any excess, you know, if you want to say impurity off the meat or whatever. It's just a good way to wash your meat. And then I go in with my water. Pour this off. And you know, the lime and the vinegar tend to be very strong, so you're gonna give it a rinse to get off the excess. Notice that the water is almost pure, but you won't get 100% pure water. We don't have time to work for that. So right now, notice that they are very nice, very pretty. I'm just gonna do a little pat drying. You won't be able to dry them 100%, but getting off as much water as possible is better off, especially putting on your dry seasoning, which we're gonna do at first. Yeah, so this is pretty good enough. So friends, here is it. Our meat is now ready for seasoning. This is pork. Over here I have my green seasoning, some onion. This is really half of a large onion. I have a Scotch bonnet, which we can't put in right now, but it's gonna add it. Some scallion, about 3 stalks. We have 5 cloves of garlic chopped up, a little piece of ginger, and some thyme. That's for our green seasoning. For our dry seasoning, we have some browning, using that brand, and then we have some soy sauce, which you know have a little salt, so we gotta be careful with the salt. I have some allspice, that's pimento, but it's grounded, because you know you get 100% flavor when you use your pimento grounded. We have some chopped onions, of course, very small pieces, and we have our salt. We have a very nice seasoning here. It's also a salt enhancer. It's called Slap Your Mama. Yeah, you can get it in the supermarket shelves. It's an enhancer because it has a cajun flavor. And then we have our star, black pepper, and of course some garlic powder. So I'm gonna go in now with my garlic powder to begin with. And I'm using what is tantamount to 1 teaspoon. Okay. Time for my black pepper. Again, what is like about a teaspoon of black pepper will do for 3 ounces of pork. And for my Cajun seasoning, which is heavily salted. I just use a little. And for your salt now, then you can use like about a teaspoon of salt. It's 3 pounds of meat. Alright, because it's adding to both the cajun and what the soy sauce will do. A little of this chopped onion. All of these are flavor enhancers, friends. You don't have to use specific amount, but at the end of the day, they're gonna give you a very good taste. I'm using at least a teaspoon, which is half a tablespoon of pimento powder, crushed pimento. This is called allspice. This alone would actually be good for your meat. And then we're doing brown stew pork, so we can't do it without some browning. This could be added later on, but I'm actually putting a little now just for a little coloring. We'll do a little more when we are cooking. Depending on the amount of water you put in your pork, you will need to make sure that it maintains that nice brown color. And a little of Chinese soy sauce, maybe about a tablespoonful. I did not mention earlier on Cliffy's special sauce. I'm going to use 2 tablespoonfuls of this, and this is really, you would call this the star of the show. Good. So in we go now with our green seasoning. This pork is gonna be so good because, trust me, it get the right stuff in it. And when we go in with hands now to rub this in, then I'm telling you that it's gonna give off this flavor which you would think it's already prepared. Are you smelling it, friends? I can't describe it to you from here, but it's great. All right, so this is good. This is good now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this away for it to be marinated properly, and I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag at least overnight. So into the Ziploc bag we go with our nicely seasoned pork, and this is for brown stew cooking. Wow. And I can tell you from now too that when we're going to get it in the pot, we will have to, as we would say, get all of these seasoning off, like the green seasoning, the onion, the scallion, the thyme. The reason being that we don't want those to burn while we brown stew the meat, while we brown the meat before we start adding water. But then having it on the meat now, for them to soak out the flavors in there, man, it's gonna be a glorious brown stew pork. So we'll see you for the cooking tomorrow. So it's time to cook the pork now. Get the seasoning soak in it, and it really is gonna give you such a beautiful taste. So let me get right into the pot with it now. Remember, we did put it in a Ziploc bag, so I'm gonna get the pieces in the pot right now. So we're gonna stir it. Remember, we are browning it right now. This thing smells so good. Really smells so good. The seasoning soaking it 100%. Alright, so we're gonna let it stir. The fire is on high, and it needs that high fire for right now so as to get the color. So that's the process we are in right now. We won't cover it up because we don't want to be steaming while we're getting the color. As soon as we get some color, then we'll cover up. So I'm going to give it a stir now to see if they start getting color. Yes, Looking really nice. The color will come over time, so we just leave it like that, getting the color as it goes along. Let me see what's happening now in this pot. Notice how nice they look. Really pretty. Getting the color gradually. Right. Smells good as usual, and I'm gonna pour in a little water very shortly, and I'm gonna make sure that that water is hot, as we don't want to lose the boiling point that it's at now. So we'll pour some hot water in it to bring it up to speed in another 3 or so minutes. So guys, it's time for another stir now. Let us see what's going on in the pot. Looking really good. What do you think? Smells like they are ready to eat, but no, it's not cooked as yet. Really getting there nicely. Really getting there nicely. Okay, let's take another look and see how we're doing. Seems great to me. Wow, this stew pork. Trust me, man. I think you could stay a mile and smell it. You know, once you have your meat and you season it overnight or for X amount of time, this is the result. Really smelling so good. Now I'm gonna pour a little browning in there. Not a lot, we use a little already, but just to give it a little stronger color. That was like about half of a teaspoon. And you're gonna stir that around. Notice the difference? Yes. Makes them looking like it's ready for plating, man, but it's not ready as yet. So just stay with us until this is finished. First, let me just keep a little water so that and that was boiled water. Still hot, so it keeps the temperature going. Notice it's still bubbling, although I just pour a little water in. Always use hot water to add to your meat so as to keep the temperature going at all times. Okay guys, it's over 5 minutes now, going 5-7 minutes. So let us see what we have in here. Okay, getting prettier and prettier. You know, while you're making your stew pork, giving it the color is very, very important. So you have to spend a lot of time, make sure that you get it right. Because you don't want to give on the plate something that looks like, you know, it just entered the fire, it didn't get the kind of attention it deserved. No, it must look inviting and nice. Each piece of meat must look like you really want it. It must make your appetite and the whole taste bud water when you see it. I think these are doing just that now. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to add some water to it now that the color looks so good. I'm going to add some water to it and then we'll cover it up. I don't think we need to pay this any more attention when I've done this, maybe for another 20 minutes. So my water is already boiled. And in that case I will need my heat on high, which I will reduce shortly. And you know, for a nicely cooked meat, You make sure you use enough water. So you don't have to be throwing water every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes. This is like cooking it now for the long haul. So I'm going to reduce my heat to half. Yes, and half on the stove, it's like about 5.5, 6. And I'm going to cover up. Nice rolling boil. And I don't think I need to have your attention here before another 15 to 20 minutes. Let us see what we have here after 20 minutes of cooking. It's more than 20, but since the last time we showed you what was happening, you notice the water boiled down quite nicely, right? If it was like a case where the pork was finished cooking, you would start preparing your gravy right now, but no. We're just gonna add some more water. Still need a little more cooking. The fork can tell me how far they are. Yeah, feel fairly, really nice, really good. It's getting there. I'm gonna pour some more water in, of course boiling water. Feels very soft. Pork nowadays cooks very easily, but wanna make sure that we don't force it. So okay, that amount of water should cook it down soft enough, and then I will put in my finishing touches like my Irish potato, my carrot, my butter beans, and the rest of the seasoning. So we catch you back here in another 20 minutes. Let's see what's going on in our pot. Okay, looking great, looking great. Just start here, and then I'm gonna test them for softness. Wow, this color is so pretty. It's so almost watering, man. Really nice. Oh, soft. Wow. It's almost there. What I'm going to do now, friends, I'm going to put in the rest of seasoning that you know that we have taken from this, that it was seasoned in. It's right here. We have a little more to go with it too. Okay, I'm gonna stir that in and makes it really yummy, yummy, yummy. Look how nice it looks. Alright, I'm gonna turn my heat up to about 7. Pour in a little bit more water. And then I'm gonna be putting in the rest of stuff to bring it to a finish. Here's my carrot and Irish potato. And of course some garlic that was cut up in this bowl. Yes. We're gonna stir that through. Settling them down right there. Look how beautiful it looks. Alright. So you know what now? We're gonna let that go on cooking maybe for another 10 minutes, and then we will come back and put in our butter bean, which maybe is the last thing to go in there before it's finished. Our heat is gonna go back to at least 5 because we're not hurrying the cooking here. We're cooking and simmering at the same time, so 5 is good for that. Let's take a look inside. I notice King Scotch bonnet is sitting right on top here, like he's sitting on his throne. Yes, for flavor. And how does this look to you guys? I would say it's beautiful. You can see your carrot, your Irish, and the gravy is looking good. What I'm gonna do now is just go in with my butter beans. I'm gonna add a little garlic powder just for flavor. And here comes my Grace butter beans. So I'm just gonna situate these. We don't want them to crush out. What we do in the meantime too is to find a few pieces of the Irish potato and just crush them out so that they can help to enhance the consistency of the gravy, giving it a nice body. If you have cornstarch, you can do that. We do that sometimes, but we don't necessarily need it, because if you have other stuff that can give your gravy that body, then you don't need to introduce anything really that drastic. So I won't be using any cornstarch in this gravy. No. Be careful that the Scotch bonnet don't break open. Looking good right there. So friends, I'm gonna cover up now, and I'm gonna let this go and simmer for another 10 minutes just to bring it to the right softness, the right consistency for the gravy, and the softness for the pork. And it's gonna be falling off whatever little bones is there, but the bottom line is it's gonna be very soft and easy to chew and very, very flavorful. So this is what we have here now. You could call this the finished product. Looking really succulent, really nice, really appetizing. And we will turn off our heat at this point. Real nice brown stew pork with beans. Of course, all the other helpings are in there to make it a real beautiful dish. So if you notice to the left over there, there's also a nice little pot of white rice. You can have rice and peas if you want. We do that sometimes, but we have white rice to go with this. And I will go ahead and do some plating and show you what we came up with. So friends, notice that nice plate of brown stew pork with beans. Of course, you have vegetables with it. You can see it's nicely plated there to go with some white rice. We really gonna have a nice feast of it, and we thank you for really staying with us as we go through the whole process of taking it so far. We appreciate your viewership, and we want to say, as usual, please like the video, share it with your friends. Of course, if you haven't subscribed as yet, do so, and put a comment in the section below. Let us know how you enjoyed this video, and tell us what you want us to prepare next. We are always at your disposal to do just so. Until our next video, we want to say have a good time, and we're gonna go feasting on this meal right now.